Well, hello. Here we are. June is over. I really, there's no need to remark like I do, but I do. It's like, you turn around and the day is over. You turn around and the week is over. You turn around and the month is gone. Do you remember what time was like when we were children? When days seemed to last forever and a year was a long time. I've read or heard something with regard to science and physics where it does seem that time, the experience of time is accelerating. Who knows? Well, I don't know. Cheers, people. It's the 1st of July. And we're in the middle of the birthday run for the Higgins clan. We had my oldest nephew Kareem's birthday, and then my younger brother Patrick's birthday, and then Floyd Norman's birthday, and then my older sister Stephanie's birthday, and then tomorrow is my other sister Adrian's birthday. Adrian, who's having the art exhibit and is apparently a smashing success. I love seeing the fact that there's people who watch my videos are telling me that they live in the area and that they plan to go see the exhibit. Fantastic. So tomorrow is my sister Adrian's birthday, and we've always had fun with the fact that for 5 days she and I are the same age. My parents' biological clock was pretty accurate because you could tell by our birthdays when they would go into heat and have those babies. The only anomaly is my older brother James. He was born in September. So, speaking of birthdays, mine is next week. Adrian is the 2nd, and I'm on the 7th. And I want to thank you, Dan Stewart from RAF and Hand Painted Police Car. He's become a good friend. He informed me yesterday that he left me a early birthday gift down at Grapefruit. He said, "Go on down there. No need to wait." And I appreciate it, so I didn't. And I'm glad I went down because there was two more records there one of them I missed. Okay, that that Hall of Prague records, that collection. Apparently, I'm getting more. There's more talk about it in music groups, and apparently the collection comes from someone who lived in Council Bluffs. The fella died, um, I guess, about 4 years ago, and his wife had been selling his collection, piecemeal, and finally decided to dump the rest. All I can say is, based on what was left after her selling for 4 years, his collection must have been incredible. And based on what he had, it's like I'm really surprised when I find out there's people who have this stuff in my area that I don't know. I don't think I knew this person, but he had all these records similar to mine. Anyway, that Grapefruit, I'm glad that they allowed me. Excuse me, I just woke up. I'm kind of seemingly struggle to say what I'm saying. I appreciate that Grapefruit gave me a chance to look through and buy what I bought, because once they put it out last weekend, I went in yesterday to claim my gift certificate, and I checked the used section, and that that prog, almost all of it's sold, almost all of it. I was kind of surprised, and yeah, cool. People are getting into this. But one of the Hawkwind records that was still there was a bunch of Hawkwind, not a bunch left, but that was the main thing left. The Con Space Shanty album that I told you they got in, I have a copy, but they got one in. They put it out for $150. That's gone. All that stuff is gone. But I had missed this because of the cover. I thought this was the back. I didn't realize this is the front. I didn't realize this is the front cover. So I was able to go down and get Astonishing Sounds by Hawkwind. We were just talking about this through the videos. A couple folks, not just one, but a couple folks brought up this album. Well, you got all those other Hawkwinds. You ought to have Quark Strangeness and Charm and Astounding Sounds, amazing music. And I was saying, yeah, I'd love to have them on vinyl. And boom, I went down there and I took a second look at it, because it's like, and I turned it over and it's like, that's the cover that I thought this was the front cover. There it was, back cover. On Charisma, with the original mock inner sleeve, like the old ones, with the funny adverts. That was left, and there was one other left that I got, and then there's the birthday gift, because, excuse me, so I got that. This was left over from the Prague Hall. Nobody bought it, and I didn't buy it at first because it's a Kevin Ayers Harvest Heritage double release, The Joy of a Toy and Shooting at the Moon. And the reason why I didn't buy it on the first round is because I have Joy of a Toy. I didn't have Shoot at the Moon, but you know, they priced it, you know, not expensive, but it wasn't cheap. But it was still there. And as I looked at it and just thought about it, it's like, well, if I get this, then I'll have Shooting at the Moon, the only early Kevin Ayers album I don't own. So I picked this up, really glad I did, because now I have Joy of a Toy actually on Harvest. And the other thing is, I listened to Shooting at the Moon, once again, all these decades of following this music, Soft Machine and associated artists, and I don't think I had ever heard this album, Kevin Ayers and the Whole World, Shooting at the Moon, because this is very outside and out there, and it sounds like there's a lot of improvisation on here and just sound making. There's the songs, but there's several passages of just sound making. I actually had to look and see, what am I? And it's the Kevin Ayers, and it's like, wow. So this was I'm glad that was still there. So now I have added this to my collection, and this is the record that Dan, I know you either watch me or listen to me, and you were saying you're going to be on the road or something today, but your your gift certificate covered the cost of this one record, and it wasn't out there. It had just come in. I don't even think it was the same collection, actually. Actually, it wasn't. It was another grip of used records that just come in that they were pricing. It was already priced, but they hadn't set it out yet. And thank God for, you know, the people at Grapefruit. Everyone knows me. Simon, David, Kathleen, who works there. As I'm looking around, you know, she said, "Well, this just came in, another Hawkwind," and it's like, holy shit! It's like winning the lottery for the day, because this is the one I've been looking for. In mint condition, it's a reissue, but Warrior on the Edge of Time. When she pulled this up from behind the counter, saying, "Well, this just came in," I said, "Kathleen, that's the one I've been looking for. That's the early album by Hawkwind that I've been missing. This is a reissue, and their albums have gone up in value. I didn't know that. I looked online after I had to pay. Why? This is a gift. Thank you, Danny. Yellow vinyl. Beautiful. Your gift certificate covered the cost of this. I was surprised. It's like, it's used and you want that much for it? And then I went and looked after I got home with these records. Thank you, Dan. This is a wonderful early birthday gift. You know, for my needs, this completes what I need by Hawkwind. I was about to say something and I lost my train of thought. It just awesome. So thank you. You know, I'll be 70, and so the birthday gift was, you know, a 70th birthday gift. It just covered the cost of that. But that's what I was thinking. When I went and looked at Discogs and looked at the prices for Hawkwind albums, it's like I was surprised. I said, whoa, I thought these were fairly common. And maybe they are, but the way it looks through Discogs is they're pricey. So that's basically what I wanted to share this morning. Here in Omaha tonight is a show that I'm planning to go to because Blake says he's put me on the guest list. Fishbone is playing in Omaha tonight, and I've seen Fishbone before, way back in the day, back in the 80s. But they're back together, and they're playing here tonight at Slowdown. And one of Blake's bands, Blake is like me back in the day. He's in several bands, very busy musician. But one of his bands, Funk Trek, is opening the show, and so he told me he'll put me on the guest list. I do not like the prices of shows. You know, the bigger the name, the higher the ticket price. I don't like it at all. But I plan to go to the Fishbone tonight. I'm on the guest list, you know, and also be an opportunity to probably meet, you know, I like meeting people. And the bass player in particular, Angelo, the lead guy, who's a character, and I can see where he would be the sort of person that I would probably not actually want to work with because of his mania. But the bass player, I forget, his name is escaping me, but he's a very good bass player. He seems to be like the cement that keeps things together. So I'd like to meet them. You know, probably will tonight. I shouldn't just say it like that, but I should be able to meet them. You know, it's not a big deal. But that's going on. tonight. Cheers. Only other thing I'll do is, since I had the records out, I played them yesterday. I played the Gunther Schickert Uberfallig. Excuse me, coffee almost went in the wrong place. And this is fun. This is a stony album. You know, he keeps saying over and over on one side, apricot brandy is always, you know, either very stoned or just being super silly. But the repetitive guitar and the echoing percussion, it's very effective, really enjoyable. I like that album a lot. And this one too, I played Royal Bed Bouncer both sides. It'd been a long time. This is a wonderful album. It's as much prog as it is pop. Ton Scherpenzeel on keyboards. Excellent player. And they're spirited. And their melodies are really rich. They're really strong. If I were to do a pull right here, I'm doing a pull right here, trying to grab another aspect of what is some people consider Canterbury. I really don't. But Henry Cow, because of Robert Wyatt's involvement, I think is the main reason why they consider it Canterbury. But that's in here, and I want to show that. I didn't grab the Camel, that's out in the other room. I will. But here's some more of my records. Matthew Herbert presents Plat du Jour, the Appetizer EP. Haven't played this in a while, but this is it's in 2005, and what we have here are people literally using items from the kitchen to make this music. Like on A1, Leo Taylor plays a half dozen eggs, cup, a whisk, a glass bowl, some egg boxes, and glass bowls, water bottles. Interesting. I don't remember listening to this in a while, but it's the sort of thing that interests me. Reggae, the Heptones, Party Time. I believe this is a Jamaican pressing. Yes, it is. See how funky and junky Jamaican pressings traditionally have been low budget. They don't have the money down there, you know. But Heptones, good vocal based reggae group. They have a well-known song in reggae. I think it might be either Party Time or Crying Over You. Yeah. So I have to play this. It's been a while. This is a good album. Party Time. Like I said, once again, in showing these records, when I do this, it's almost like a revisit. It's like, oh, kind of forget what's in my collection. I haven't played this in a while, but this is pretty cool. It's Judy Henske and Jerry Yester. Jerry Yester was in The Lovin' Spoonful. Farewell Aldebaran. Cutout I've had for a long time. Put out on Frank Zappa's label, Straight. Haven't played this in a long time, but I like this from the beginning. I like her voice. I have to revisit this because I did get into this when I bought it. I can't remember any details about the lyrics, but some of these songs are pretty clever, I would say. Judy Henske, Jerry Yester, which comes, Henske comes right after Henry Henske. So here's my, and I wish, of course I wish that I had, and where is it? And see, so there it is. Okay, we'll start here. Henry Cow. I wish that I would love to have the box sets. I don't have the box sets. But Henry Cow, I remember when this came out, because I was reading the Musical Express and Sounds dedicatedly here in Omaha because I follow English music. The press about Faust Gong and Henry Cow and that stuff really caught my attention. So I sought this out and bought it as soon as I could. It actually got released in America. I had an American version for a while, but then was able to get an original UK. This was hard to get into at first. I didn't quite understand it at first, but I thought I could tell I need to give this record time. I need to learn how to appreciate this music, and I'm glad that I took the time. It took a while for me to get Henry Cow, but once it hit, it was like, oh wow, this is really unique, really, really excellent. Unrest. So I sought this out, and I think I got this through Homer's, or either, no, probably Dirt Cheap and Lincoln, because Dirt Cheap and Lincoln, they were staying on top of this stuff. When I would go down in Lincoln, it would be like like going to Chicago while Dirt Cheap was open, because they bought a lot of imports. And this album is spent, I've been saying that word a lot, but it's right. This one has a lot of improvisation on it. So it's more of a difficult ride, as it were, even more so than the first album, but again, well worth it. And then when they put this out, in many ways, this is their masterpiece. Henry Cow with art, with Slap Happy, basically. Dagmar's voice on here is fantastic. In Praise of Learning. Once again, I bought it when it first came out. And the original Virgin Inner. And it's like they gave them a custom label. Somebody at the label or someone realized that this was special and deserved special attention. It is unfortunate that it did not become a big seller, which is what we all need. We have to face the reality that we're in a business. Music is art, and it's life affirming, and it makes life worth living. But it's a damned business, and there's no escaping that. Henry Cow, Slap Happy, Desperate Straits. More on the song side. Henry Cow concerts. Robert Wyatt involved. This is the shit. And their last studio album. Western Culture. Now, I didn't grab them, but I have the Art Bearers and other related records. The Fred Fritz solo records. Tim Hodgkinson. Some of his solo works. The Work. Red Balloon. I have this stuff. And then this. The Last Nightingale. I believe this was a release related to a strike by miners or something, possibly. I know that they've always, not always, but they have a history, Chris Cutler and those guys, of being a people's band where they represent people's rights. There's some poetry on here as well as music. And then my most recent buy is this live album, double album, Stockholm and Gothenburg. I think this originally came out as part of the box set, which I think is CD only. I don't think there's a vinyl version of the box set. Someone tell me if so. And the next things on the next thing, let's Henry Cow, Pierre Henry, Messe pour le temps présent. Music for Maurice Béjart's Dance. And this has a single on it. Yeah, Rock Electronique. He actually had, I don't know if it was a hit, but they released a single off of here, which I heard it back in the day somehow. And then I have this one, and that's exactly what it says it is. Pierre Henry, Variations for a Door and a Sigh. And that's what you hear. He really was a pioneer with regard to exploration of sound, recorded sound. This is good stuff. And then right next to it, although I didn't grab them all, right next to the Pierre Henry, which goes into the Henry Cow, is the Jimi Hendrix. And what we have here is a 12-inch single of Purple Haze. Can't tell. I think it's a UK pressing. Hendrix, 9 to the Universe. Jimmy Plays Berkeley. I've shared it before, but as a kid, one of my best friends, once we moved from South Omaha to the mixed, predominantly white neighborhood over into the black community in the 4th grade, one of my first friends that I made on the north side was a kid named John Pennington, who it happened to be first cousins with Buddy Miles. Now, I guess it really wasn't that much of a stretch that John and I would become friends, because my parents were already friends with the Miles family. And I was already around Buddy Miles and his family as a small child. Used to play over at Buddy's dad's house, George Miles. My dad was friends with George Miles, and we would go over there, and I can remember playing at Buddy Miles' house. I bring him up because of the history that he made with Jimi Hendrix. And I basically could call Buddy Miles a friend, a family friend. More. Volume 2. So I didn't pull them all, so you're just seeing this, because they're not in order. You can see by the spine there, Access Bold as Love and More Hendrix. Here's Rainbow Bridge. I love Hendrix, and he was an early inspiration to me. I remember the first time I saw Are You Experienced in a record shop. It was at a J.C. Penney, and of all people, I was with John Pennington and my other buddy at the time, Butler. I forget his first name, but we were like the 3 Musketeers. And it's the first time I saw Jimi Hendrix. I was like, wow, smash hits. And this bootleg, which is quite a trip. Woke up this morning and found myself dead. If you've never heard this, this is audience recording of a jam session where people are just being themselves, really loaded, stoned. Jim Morrison is on here, drunk out of his mind, sounding like a fool, but you can tell it's Jim Morrison. And Johnny Winter, Randy Hobbs. It's Jimi Hendrix with Johnny Winter's band, and Jim Morrison and Buddy Miles. Now, the story behind this is that this album actually belonged to an artist named Mike Stecker, who brought it over and forgot it, and then he moved. Then I reconnected with him years ago, but he never moved back. And I said, I still have your album. And he says, well, it's where it needs to be. So that's what I'll share with you this morning. It's another half hour. So happy birthday to my sister Adrian tomorrow. Thank you again, Dan, for the opportunity to basically almost complete my Hawkwind collection from my perspective. The only one I would want now is Quark's Strangeness and Charm. That was so cool how the timing, you got a present, I go down there and there they are. So let's just enjoy the music and each other's friendship and love. Let's try to just stand together. These are very strange times. I really can't stand the news. Can't stand it. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare I wished would never come true, thinking it was going to come further down the road in the future, and here it is already. So let the music play and show love to one another and show love to yourselves. Okay? Take care.